Perfect. Awesome. Well, first off, thank y'all for having us on here. My name is Nick Woodard. This is my beautiful wife, Kaylee. We have been jumping now for over 25 years. And we have won several national and world championships through our sport in various events, freestyle and speed, or more freestyle?
I don't think I've won any speed.
We've
gotten really close, but we're more freestyle jumpers.
Freestyle jumpers. But we've built a company now called Learnin the Ropes, and our main thing is to inspire, educate, and serve others through the sport of jump rope. And so we do a lot of shows, we do a lot of classes. We also put together programming for PE teachers, for adults to teach jump rope, to give workouts. And we love being able to spread the sport of jump rope the best way we can. And right now, that's through our company.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it. We really appreciate all of you being on the call with us today. Before we do kind of jump in and get, pun intended, and get started, we want to just make sure that everyone knows if you have a question. I know Angelica already said you can feel free to put it in the chat. You can also just unmute yourself and be like, hey, stop talking, I have a question. That's all totally fine. But we're happy that you're here today.
Yep, and we really appreciate Peter, Angelica, and Rachel for allowing us to be a part of the Mayor's Fitness Challenge. It's a really huge honor for us to be able to help program some things. And we're going to kind of, as we talk today, we're going to get into some of the programming and what that's going to look like over the next 8 weeks. We'll also talk about some of the benefits of jump rope. And then we're going to get into some basics of jump rope, how to size your rope, how to choose a rope, things like that. And then we'll also work into a few skills. So if you have a rope, you can learn some. If you don't, you can maybe do some footwork with us. But that's going to be the layout of our session today. And so hopefully you learn a lot and you leave here feeling better about jump rope.
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you. If I would recommend if you are not talking, you should mute yourselves.
Yep.
There we go.
So yeah, I think I'm kind of looking across. I'm muting as we go, but we're golden. So let's talk about the program. Go for it.
Perfect. Yeah. So as part of the Mayor's Fitness Challenge, our main goal is to make jump rope an attractive and an accessible option for you to be active and to get that exercise in throughout the challenge. So some of the things that we'll be doing, are you sharing that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So some of the things that we'll be doing, we'll be sharing out these little jump rope challenges as you go. And you can see here, a component of those challenges is going to be number of jumps. So we have it kind of broken down into youth and adults. The youth number of jumps is, of course, a little bit lower. And then as we go through the challenge, our goal is to increase slowly your number of jumps so that we're progressing you toward kind of an end goal and you're pushing yourself every single time, right? The reason for that is just injury prevention, right? We don't want to jump you right into 1,500 jumps at a time, but that's a component of it. And then another component that we'll have, I think he's pulling it up right now. Perfect. With each challenge that we send out, not only is there a number of jumps, but there are some skills that we recommend you try, right? And a cool thing, if you scan that little QR code at the bottom, you're gonna come up with some video demonstrations, a little bit of a tutorial on those skills. So if you've never heard of it, no stress, we will teach you, right? That is meant to make it really fun. And then a third component of our challenges that we'll send out, we have put together some mini workouts that incorporate jump rope and different body weight exercises, right? So you're really getting a total body workout there. So you'll see like a little brief description on the image itself. If you say, hey, that looks like a fun one that I might want to try, then again, scan that QR code and we will take you through it. And it's easy peasy. And I can personally promise you, you will get a good workout. Like we sweated so much.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It's just like a little.
All right, you got about 35 seconds.
Yep.
So your goal is to jump that full time now, okay?
Okay. So yeah, if you notice as you go through, if you choose to do one of the workouts, like Kaylee said, we work with you the entire time. So that's what this video is showing. We have a timer up there. We encourage you the entire time. We're sweating right there with
I'm
you.
encouraging Nick the whole time.
Yes.
You'll get comedy from him. It's going to be awesome.
It's a lot.
He dies.
It's a lot, but it's fun. I promise. So yeah, that it will be the three components of our challenge, right? Yeah. So we kind of want to get into that. We'll also have a mini like flash mob routine that we're going to be trying to get into as well. And I'm going to share my screen one more time. But it's a routine that's very basic in nature. It gets a lot of people. It can get almost anybody involved, so that you can kind of jump with us. And I have to begin a routine right here. So here's what the routine looks like. We'll at least show it to you. And then this will be sent out periodically so that you can be practicing. And then I believe it's March 19th. We're going to have a huge flash mob day in Florida. And we are going to have everybody come together. We're going to jump, have a great time, and also teach skills afterwards. But we'll show you what the routine looks like. Super simple. Anybody can do it. And then we'll
one that's super important. And then the last one that I want to touch on is the mental and cognitive benefits. I don't have time to get into all of it, but there are so many different mental and emotional benefits with the dopamine release that happens when we're exercising. And again, jump rope's a great way to do that. So it can help to reduce even symptoms of depression, anxiety, things like that, and improve your mood. And then cognitively too, it helps with, jump rope is one of the best ways to help with the connection between the two sides or hemispheres of your brain, right? So we're helping our brain to be, it's called plasticity. We're helping our brain to be more adaptable. We're helping it to communicate with itself and form these new pathways, right? That help us cognitively to stay sharp, to avoid decline and things like that. So yeah, I wish I could talk for a whole hour about that, but there are so many benefits of jump rope.
If you haven't noticed already, Kaylee is a professor at Western Kentucky
Like all the
University.
science.
So she loves all the
The
science. She loves all of those things, which is great. I do too. I just don't dive into it as heavily as my professor, Dr. Woodard over here. But yeah, so all of those benefits. We just want to kind of highlight some of those benefits in the chat really quick. We're going to post a link. This link is to our YouTube page, and it actually talks about the 5 benefits. Like we made a whole video just on that. So if you want to click on that for future reference, please click on that. We would love to have you check it out and learn some more about those benefits from us.
Yeah.
But I think next what we want to try to get into is a little bit of jumping or understand the basics of jumping. That's kind of what we want to get into. And the first thing is like ropes, right?
Yeah. Before we do that though, does anybody
Oh,
have
yeah.
any questions? We don't want to like just keep talking at you. 'Cause that's no fun.
We can talk forever.
No.
I'm gonna go here.
We do have we have up to 14 people, so it has grown since you started talking. So that's
great.
good. Thank you all.
Yeah, if you're new, welcome.
Yeah.
Yay, jump rope.
Welcome. Thanks for
And
hanging out
please
with us.
keep in mind, you can ask your questions by unmuting yourself to ask the question, or you can put it in the chat and we'll be happy to.
For sure,
Yes.
for sure. I love it. So yeah, let's talk about ropes really quick. So we 2 different types of ropes that right. So we have a licorice rope or your PVC, right? So this is
Plastic.
plastic rope that a lot of people see all the time. Then we also have our beaded rope. And so your beaded rope, you can tell, is segmented by beads, and in the middle, it is a actual rope, right? So what do we recommend? We actually recommend beaded ropes first. And you're like, why? Well, to us, this has a little bit more weight to it. Okay, and so you can feel the weight throughout every single turn of the rope, right? So every time you're jumping, you can feel what that rope is the entire time. Also, our beads here are very durable. So when you're jumping on concrete, outside, inside, doesn't really matter. These beads are actually going to hold up a lot better for you. So that's another reason why we recommend those. And then what's one of the last ones?
I think it's just the feedback. It's easier. to
Yeah,
hear.
feedback. Oh, and then you can also hear it, right? So I know, especially when kids, they don't want to like hear where that rope is, even adults, right? So if you can jump really quick, you can kind of hear that clicking on the ground. So you can kind of hear where the rope is every single time. Once again, it's giving you the feedback. You know exactly where it is. When it comes to the licorice rope, these are great as well. Kaylee personally competes with these ropes, so like we both use both of them. But I would say with this one, like if you're looking for a little bit more speed, like you want to just go faster, well then here you go. Will it wear a little bit at the bottom? Yes, but these ropes are a little bit cheaper, so if you have to get more of these ropes, it's not that big of a deal. But you can go a little bit faster with them, and our beater ropes are a little bit more expensive, but once again, they're a little bit more durable.
Yeah.
What else would you say about the licorice rope?
Really, I mean, he hit it. It goes faster. You can't feel it quite as much. And so for that reason, I would say if you would classify yourself as a beginner, again, go with the beaded rope first, probably. And then as you get more and more advanced, you may want to transition to a licorice rope.
You want to talk about sizing?
Yes. Okay. So sizing, and you may have seen or heard of this before, but this is the standard method to size your rope. Okay. You're going to want to stand on the middle of the rope with 2 feet together in whatever shoes you're going to be jumping in. And then you're pulling the handles up. Now, the handles should come for a beginner Yeah, this one might be better. The handle should come to about your armpits. Okay, so like right here, if I were standing up straight. As you become more and more advanced, you can go with a little bit shorter of a rope. The reason is because your technique should be getting better, so that you can afford to have that lower rope and lower margin for error. Okay, but that's the standard method for sizing. And I think Keith has his hand raised. Yes, Keith.
Go for it.
Yeah, in terms of jump ropes, because I've purchased jump ropes for some of our programs here in the past, especially like for the kids events. And a lot of times I get these jump ropes that aren't very good, and then they fall apart. So what are you talking about in terms of how much you should be paying for to get a good rope?
So a couple things. I'm gonna put something in the chat right now. Here is our website right here. So I would say you can get rope. Our ropes are no more than $20.
And that's if you buy one. If you're buying bulk, they're gonna be less.
They're gonna be less. And so these are 20. I think our other ones, our licorice ropes, are like maybe 12 or 8, something like that. So you don't have to spend more than $20 to $25 to get a good quality rope that's going to last you for a long time. Yes, there are other rope brands out there that are more on the performance side. They might be more expensive, the $50, $60 range. But to us, if you're just beginning, you should be able to pay $20 or less, get a great rope, and get going.
Yeah, unless you're competing, please
Yeah.
do not go and spend $50 on a rope.
Yeah.
Like if you're not competing, you don't need to do that.
Exactly. Like no need at all.
Yeah.
And we try to make ours like very affordable. Like I said, like these we say are 20 because like we string all of our own ropes for you.
With a lot of love.
With a lot of love, right? And you can pick your own colors. That's another reason why it's a little bit more like that. But we have some that are pre-made, and those are a little bit cheaper, but it's the same quality. We just didn't string those ourselves. So just throwing that out there. But yeah, those are some thoughts about ropes. And then I'll get into the basics of actually like starting jumping really quick, and then we'll actually get into a few skills. Okay. So one of the biggest things when you are starting is you want to make sure that you start in your ready position. All that means that the rope is behind you, all face sideways. It's like a little bit above like the ankle and like right below the calf, and your hands are in front. You'll see a lot of people, kids and adults, that like to start up here and they like to throw that rope over, right? So we're trying to get rid of that by starting here and really getting a big swing going. So we always tell our kids and our adults, start with a big swing to get the rope over your head. Once the rope gets over your head, then you can use your wrist right by your hips and kind of flick through the entire time. You're never trying to jump and keep your wrist this way. It should always be pointed out so that you can continue to turn. So you'll notice my first jump, it goes over, and then I'm able to keep going. One more thing about your technique whenever you're jumping, you want to make sure that you're relaxed, right? Your shoulders should be very relaxed. You don't want to be tense, because if you're tense, your arms are going to come out. And when your arms come out, now my rope is up and it's hard to jump, right? So you want to bring those hands in. You want to relax those shoulders so that you can keep your arms right by your hips. And then one more thing is that the rope is only this big. There is no need to jump this high, right, to get over a rope that's that big. So you want to make sure that you're making efficient jumps and you're not just jumping crazy for no reason. Okay. Are there any questions about jumping at all as far as like getting started to jump? It's okay it's okay if not. We're just trying to cover some of these. Go
So
ahead.
I think before we keep going though, if you have a rope, or even if you don't have a rope, but you have space and you kind of want to get active for a second, we want to invite you to go ahead, stand up. Let's get moving for a second. Do we have anybody who's going to do that? So I'll know, like, do we need to warm people up?
I think Miss Angelica is looking to
Yeah.
jump. And I'm not sure if others, if you have your camera off, which is fine, you can still move around with us even if you don't have a rope, right?
Yes.
So like
Yes.
we're gonna be working on some footwork patterns and things like that.
So
She's
I will be honest, I am also in my office, so I couldn't bring a jump rope today, but I figured it would be a good chance to practice footwork at least.
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
So
So I
I
think
encourage you guys to join us.
Yes. I think what we should do you want to demonstrate a couple of like warm-up activities that
Yeah.
we should do? Okay, cool. So I'm going to demonstrate, or we'll both demonstrate a few little warm-up activities that we recommend doing before you start really jumping. And that way, if you are jumping, we won't get injured today. Okay, so first thing that we kind of recommend, I like to start with body weight squats. It's not impactful and it allows us to get moving. So arms are going to go out like this. We're going to shift our weight to our heels. Booty goes back and we're going to sit like we're sitting in a chair. All right. Let's try to get 8 to 10 of those together. Cool. So that's 1, 2, good. 3, 4, 5, 6, good. 2 more. And then stop at the bottom on this last one. Nice. Now, if you can, hold it here. Check your toes. If you can't wiggle your toes, that means you need to shift your weight back to your heels more. All right, go ahead and stand it up, shake it on out. Nice.
Good job, friends. So another one that we like to do is just some knee hugs, trying to get the legs kind of warmed up more after our squats. So bringing the knees up to the chest, we try to hold it for like a second or two and then switch. This kind of really gets us into some dynamic stretching, right? Good, so you just kind of keep going back and forth. We try to hold it for a second or two, really try to balance on that down leg the entire time. And then the next thing that we'll do, just almost the reverse of that, what we're gonna do is try to get our quads now. So we're gonna reach in the back, just like so. We're gonna balance for a second. Once again, hold for a second or two, and then you'll switch. And we wanna try to get 2, we'll say 2 to 5 on each side. But really, if you're jumping on your own, you kind of want to just kind of do it until you feel good. But we would recommend 2 to 5 on each side.
Perfect.
Good?
Yep. All right. Next thing, I'll get you into some arm circles and then into some jumping jacks. All right, so we can start actually bouncing around. So arm circles, let's start out to the side with small forward arm circles, and then gradually, as you feel good, let's get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Let's go.
Perfect. I see some people starting to move. Let's go. Ooh. Good. Now same thing, small ones backwards, small, small, small. Get gradually bigger until you feel really good. Nice. Ooh, that feels good for me. Good. All right, go ahead and hug yourself and then open up.
Like a swimmer.
Yep.
Like,
we used to call this the Michael Phelps stretch, but now none of the kids know who Michael Phelps is. So
which is strange.
I know, we've abandoned that name for it. Awesome. Now that your arms are limbered up, let's go ahead. Let's just get 10 jumping jacks all together. All right. And if you don't want to jump yet, you can always step it. Ready, set, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome.
One last thing we do, we want to kind of get your wrists and your ankles. So if you can put your hands together like this, kind of roll them around for a second at the same time for some coordination. Roll an ankle, right? And then you can roll the other ankle.
Gets me every time.
I know, right? Just trying to get you moving. I love it. Okay, so we are going to try to get you into some footwork patterns that you can kind of work on, and then you can add it to a rope later on. Okay. Yeah, we can put the rope on the ground.
Perfect.
Yep.
So a great way to learn, even if you do have a rope, let's put it on the ground for now in a line right next to us. I'm going to teach you 2 footwork skills, okay? First one is a skier. So all we're doing is standing right next to that rope, if you have it, and then we're going to jump to the right of it and to the left of it, back and forth, just like that, all right? So if you have space, go ahead, try about 10 of those, just right and left. There you go. Yep.
There you go.
Perfect.
Good.
So remember, we're landing on the balls of those feet.
Yep.
Staying close to that line as much as possible. Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Good job. Awesome. Okay. Now, second one that I'll teach you, and then we'll add a rope if you've got it. So second one is a side straddle. All you're going to do is now put the rope or that line in between your feet. Yep. And then we're jumping out to shoulder width and then back together. So shoulder width together. Out together, out together. Good. Yep, try about 10 of them. Y'all are pros. What rock stars. Awesome. Okay, so with a rope, with any footwork skill that you do, here's two things to keep in mind. Number 1, you want to establish your rhythm first with regular jumps. Do a couple single bounces, okay? Second, when your feet start moving, the tendency is to forget about the rope. Don't do that, right? Your feet know what to do. You had your feet your whole life. The rope is new, focus on that, okay? So start with those single bounces and then pick your skill, and whatever your feet do, your rope never changes, all right? So if you've got a rope, let's go ahead and pick one of those skills and let's see if we can get like 5 of them.
And even if
Okay.
you don't, you can do it with your imaginary rope, right?
Yes.
So act like you're jumping, give yourself 2 jumps, and then maybe do, like Kaylee said, 4 to 6 of each one of those skills really quick. All right?
Let's go.
Just a couple. Ready, set, go. On you. Yep.
See that imaginary
Perfect.
rope. Let's go.
Love the imaginary ropes.
Best part about the imaginary ropes, you can't miss. It's awesome.
And it doesn't hurt, right?
That's right.
Ever.
That's right. No whips.
I
Good
love
job,
it.
guys.
I love it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Rock stars.
All right, so let's get you into a few more. Let me see your rope. So once again, we'll put the rope on the ground, okay? This first one that we're gonna work on is, so we just did side straddles, okay? Now we're gonna do one called forward straddle. So if the rope's on the ground, just like it is here, you put 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, almost like a little baby lunge here. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna jump up and we're gonna switch our feet, all right? So it's switch, there you go. So try to switch back and forth like 10 times. Nothing
Awesome.
crazy. You got it. You want to send the ball to your feet the entire time.
So
Perfect.
good.
Right, so that is a forward straddle. Now, we're gonna do something called an X motion, okay? So now what happens, you're back with your feet close to your rope again. You're gonna go apart like our side straddle. Then you're actually gonna cross your legs. So you cross your legs, and then you come back out to your straddle. So it's straddle, cross, straddle, cross. You see that? So try
Yes.
maybe 6 or 7 straddle crosses.
Awesome.
There you go. There you go. Now don't trip over your feet now. We will laugh. We'll make sure you're okay, but then we will chuckle after. I'm just kidding. Perfect. I love it. Okay. So now once again, like Kaylee said, you want to establish your rhythm, right? So I'll face sideways. You try to get 2 or 3 jumps, and then I'm gonna get you into some forward straddles, like so, right? Or we can do some of those X motions. Once again, get a couple jumps, and you get into your X motion. Now, one thing I'll say also, whenever we want you to practice, but whenever you get a rope in your hand, okay? Some people are not able to do single bounces yet. So if you are a double bounce person, one, we want to try to encourage you to get to single bounces. But if you're a double bounce person, you can still do every skill. You're just gonna be doing it slow. It's not wrong, it's just slower. Okay. So do me a favor, take like 20 seconds, try the forward straddle and the X motion with your invisible rope. Ready, set, go.
Let's do it.
All right, yep. So you pick one. There you go. Look at y'all.
Such pros. I'm gonna give them a little combo next.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Good job, friends.
If you don't have your camera on, hopefully you're moving with us as well. Perfect. All right, 3, 2, 1, and freeze.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're actually not going to use our rope for this next one.
Perfect.
I might, but you don't have to. We're going to get into a little combo and hopefully mess with our brains a little bit. All right. So here's the 4 skills that we have done so far. We did skiers. Okay. We did side straddles. We did forward straddles and X motion. All right. So all we're going to do is try to do 4 counts of each one of those in a strung together fashion, okay? Like a little routine. So it's going to go 4 counts of skiers, okay? 4 counts of side straddles, 4 counts of forward straddles, and then 4 counts of X motion. It's going to look like this, and then we'll practice, all right? So 4 counts goes 1, 2, 3, 4, side straddle, 3, 4, forward straddle, 3, 4, X motion, 3, 4. Okay, it's just a brain teaser. Cool. Let's try the first 2 together. So I'm going to say 5, 6, 7, 8, skier 2, 3, 4, side straddle 3, 4. All right, here we go, guys. Y'all ready? Give me like a thumbs up.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, sweet. Go. 5, 6, 7, 8, skier 2, 3, 4, side straddle 3, 4. Perfect. Let's try it one more time. Make sure it's in our brain. Ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Skier 2, 3, 4, side straddle, 3, 4. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna repeat that and we're gonna add in our third skill, which is the forward straddle. Okay, so that's all we're doing, adding that forward straddle. Ready, whole thing together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Skier, 2, 3, 4, side straddle, 3, 4, forward straddle, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Okay, can we add the last one?
I think we can.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
Perfect.
It's a party.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys. So skier, side straddle, forward straddle, X motion. 4 of each. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Skier, 2, 3, 4, side straddle, 3, 4, forward straddle, 3, 4, X motion, 3, 4. I think we did it.
Sweet.
Perfect. So that is a quick example, right? That would be a lot more difficult with your rope, but it would be a really fun challenge. So that's an example of what I like to call tricking yourself into working out. I almost promise you, if you try that with your rope, you're gonna like want to keep going until you get it, right? And before you know it, several minutes have gone by, you're sweating and you didn't even know it.
Burn lots of calories.
Yeah, burning lots of calories.
And have lots of fun.
Yeah, so that's just fun stuff to try.
Yeah. So though that was just a little bit of the basics of jump rope. One, how to get started, a few footwork skills. There are tons of skills, especially like if we have ropes in our hands, rotation skills, crossing skills, push-ups. There's so many different things that you can do with a rope that we want to encourage you to learn. And through the next 8 weeks, if you were to click on some of the links that we provide, also scan some of those QR codes, you'll be able to learn some of these skills and you'll be able to master them. Or if you don't master them right then, keep practicing and you'll be able to get them eventually, okay? But one thing that we want to do as we are wrapping up is we actually want to show you where you can take jump rope. We are in our living room, so we can't do too much, but we have a lot of highlight videos, right? So we want to show you one. It's about a minute long or so. It kind of gives you an idea of some of our accomplishments with single rope and double dutch. So you can check that out. I think you are going to love it. So let me learn the ropes.
Yeah, hopefully it inspires you a little bit.
Yes.
Or you can show it also to your kids if you don't think that they are excited to jump rope yet. Maybe this will help.
Yeah, this would be a blast. Okay, so I'm going to show this really quick. I'm going to make this bigger. And now it's about to be a party. Yay. Perfect. Stop sharing. Friends, that is what we do. We love jump rope. We love being able to put on a show. We love teaching. We love working with people so they can know the benefits of jump rope, how to get started. And that's what throughout these next 8 weeks, we really want to do and engage with y'all the best way possible. So we really encourage you to take some of those challenges, those jump rope challenges. You'll have a blast with them. We think that you're going to love them, and it's really going to hopefully excite you and maybe your friends, your kids, grandkids, whatever, to pick up a rope and just be active. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we want you to do. Be active, and we want you to have a great time. But before we get off, are there any questions that we can answer?
Yes.
Want to make sure that we are, just want to talk to you. So is there anything that we can answer for you?
Jackie's gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna ask about the buildup. If we haven't, how you do it for so many minutes or count your steps, or how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends on where you're at, right? So in our challenges, we start you out at a pretty aggressive number of jumps. I think does it start at 700?
I think for adults, I think it's 700.
Yes.
That you can do throughout over the week.
Right. So if you were to tackle that in one day, that's pretty aggressive. However, what you can do is listen to your body. Maybe the first day you try 50 jumps, see how your body is doing, right? And then go from there. But I would definitely start small. And then also, we didn't talk about this, but I'll show you something right quick right now. And this is kind of a non-jumping skill that you can do during your rest periods. So let's say you don't even want to necessarily do 50 jumps, all in a row. Maybe you want to do 10 jumps, and then you can do something called side swings as you're recovering, but you're still moving, right? You can march as you're just swinging your rope, and then do 10 more jumps, right? So you can start really, really small like that. And again, just listen to your body as you're continuing to go. Does that help?
Awesome.
So Kaylee and Nick, I don't want to stop any other questions, but I don't want to leave this out either. I'm going to be sharing this on our Facebook page. And so if you have any other events or anything scheduled that you need to share, please make sure you do that as well and get more people involved.
Awesome. Yeah. And don't forget, also look at those links in the chat as well. That'll lead you to that YouTube video, and then also to the jump ropes in case you don't have one. Calvin, did you have a question?
I think you're.
I think you're muted.
Calvin, you're muted still.
Yeah, Calvin, you're muted.
How's that?
Yep.
There we go.
Okay. The exercises are all available just by clicking on the links you have.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And how do you know you're saying sir, or you're just being polite to this old man?
That's how
Okay.
it was raised.
Yeah. Okay. No, that was just understanding how to get to all of that.
Yep. So it's that QR code on the graphics that they'll be posting.
Yep.
Okay.
And there should be also the links as well. So if you're on your phone, you should be able to click on a link and see it as well. So either way should work. That's a great question though. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. And then I think we had one in the chat about a heavy rope. Yes. Do you ever use heavy ropes? That's a great question as well. Sometimes we do. For us, heavy ropes, we use like heavier beads sometimes instead of what we have is pretty light beads. So we'll do that. But yes, I mean, heavier ropes can help you to get, more cardio. They can also strengthen up the muscles in your shoulders. So if you have that, it's not a bad tool at all to use. That's a great question.
Yep.
And then I think we want to show them. Oh yeah, how the QR code works.
I'm trying to pull up one so that you can.
Yes.
Give me 2 seconds.
We will do that. We're pulling up a QR code.
Yep. Trying to figure out the best way to get to one.
Do you want me to just share this other thing that you had on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, you do it.
Got it. So I got you. So we're gonna share a screen one last time. Come over here. We're gonna hit share. So this right here says scan to work out. If you have your cell phone right now and you go to the camera app, you can simply put your camera, like you can hover it over, just like I'm kind of doing now. And when you do it, a link should pop up. It's gonna say like flow code something. When you do that, you're gonna click on that website. And then when you click on it, it's gonna go directly to the workout or whatever that link is. So we have each QR code linked to a different workout or a different set of skills that you can learn. So that's, if you haven't used QR codes before, that is a way to understand how that works. At the same token, with each post that comes out, you'll see the links like in the comments or the description of what's going on. You'll see the links in there on each Facebook post as well.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Click on that chat.
Click on chat.
I wanted, so Patricia says, I wanted something heavy enough to not tangle. I can only go about 5 minutes with the rope I got. It's actually very heavy. Yeah, I would recommend our beaded ropes then.
Yeah.
Because our standard beaded ropes aren't very heavy, but they're just heavy enough to not tangle, but also to give you that feedback that you need as you're jumping.
Yeah, and like when we say they're not heavy, like I personally compete with our beaded ropes.
Right, like all the freestyle stuff.
So all the freestyle stuff, the things that you saw on in the video, like that's all with a beaded rope that we sell and that we use all the time. So it's heavy enough to do everything that we're doing, plus give anybody who's like a beginner a great workout, and it should work out perfect for you. Yeah, are there any other questions? We want to make sure that we are answering everything that we can.
That's what I have.
You said that's all you got?
Yeah, I didn't have any other questions.
Awesome,
Perfect.
thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we'll wrap it up here, but just know we're here as resources. So we hope that you take part in the jump rope challenges. If you have any trouble or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. We're all over social media, and I know that Keith has our contact information as well. So thank you all so much for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Want to say anything else?
No, I think we're good. We appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to connecting with you over the next 8 weeks, and hopefully getting y'all to be jump rope champions
Yes.
with us, doing backflips and front flips. Like all of it is required at
World
the end.
Championships 2022.
2022. That's what we're going after at the end of the challenge. So I want to see all 14 of you competing with us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all for great training as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.